But I like to invite three people to especially thank. You know, this organization has almost reached bankruptcy to the level that we have some of the trustees looking into it. But there were three people. People is not good. Three women. One woman, my wife asked, who is this woman who calls here? There will be long phone calls and conversations, thinking of this option and that option, and there's no one who serves with me as Vice Chair of the Parliament, Phyllis Curott. Phyllis, come up, please. And then the other woman, who is icon of Chicago community development. Chicago has honored her with 6 doctorate degrees. She was my vice chair when she stepped in to take charge of running this organization. Dear friend, Mary Nelson, please come on. Then a person who on the corner of Lake Street on Michigan Avenue, which 4 blocks from there where the first parliament took place. When all the chaos were there, she stood there on that corner looking at me. I trust you and go forward. Susan Morgan, please come forward, Susan Morgan. I can tell you very honestly, this organization will not be where it is today if it was not because of these 3 persons. They have put their heart in it, they have put their mind in it, they have put their money behind it. And they are no ordinary leaders. They are no ordinary leaders. There are times when we fight. There are times we disagree. But commitment to the interfaith movement to bring world together, these women stand solid like a rock. I invite Susan Morgan to have a few words here.
I am overwhelmed, and I have never stood before a crowd like this. I don't know what I could say. I've been a contributor to the Parliament, and I've made many investments in my life, but this has been the best. We all look for a return on our investment. But in this case, you are the return on my investment. 10,000-fold. Now, it was my father who became an entrepreneur and made a lot of money, and that's why I am able to help the Parliament out. Well, his spiritual director was John Templeton, who made billions of dollars. and my father would go to him for advice. Well, one time we were on a train together, John Templeton, his wife, my father and I and a group of business people crossing Siberia in a train. And people wanted to hear from him. So one afternoon, a whole train car was filled with people, and John Templeton spoke to them. And he went around and asked what everybody was doing, what their business was, and made a few comments. And then someone asked him, well, if you were going to invest in one thing, John, what would it be? He said, tithe, give 10% away, and don't even think about a return. So I am thanking you all today. My heart is full seeing you all here today, and that I could play a part in it. Thank you.
May.
Well, I earlier introduced myself as the chief bottle washer of the Parliament of the World's Religions. And this experience has been what I call the agony and the ecstasy. And we end up knowing it really well. But the joy, the spirit that has been evident in this Parliament, the sense of commitment to a world of justice and peace and collegiality is so overwhelming that you have made all of this work and this struggle a special kind of reward in and all of itself. And so I want to just say, Mahatma Gandhi had a thing when he said, whatever you do may seem insignificant, but it's very important that you do it. And so the reward is going to be if all of words, but committed to doing the work of justice and community and sustainability.
And now the Phyllis the sailor.
I want to thank all of you, and I want to thank Malik, my dear friend, with whom I have fought, but always with honor and with extraordinary joy for the thing that we share. I want to thank the trustees, and I want to thank the staff and the volunteers for your support of this historic inaugural Women's Assembly. I want to thank all of the extraordinary women and the men, but the extraordinary women who brought their wisdom, the panelists and all of the attendees. I want to thank you for your voices, for your grace, for embodying the reason that we're here. And I want to thank the Parliament, the trustees, for their courage in taking the moral leadership in calling upon the religions of the world to uphold the dignity and the human rights of women. In healing the hearts of women, you are healing the hearts of humanity. Thank you, Malik.
Thank you so much.